Presenting any product in an attractive way is very important. Dressing sheep for the show ring or the sale ring can be very rewarding both financially and in terms of job satisfaction. NSA Scotland, in collaboration with the Scottish Association of Young Farmers Clubs, asked John Barclay, a past winner of the Royal Highland Show lamb dressing competition, to demonstrate some of the finer points. It's a team effort, and in this short film, John is teamed up with his father, Robert.
We start off by dressing the lamb to enhance the lamb's looks, to make it longer and wider looking of its top, and to enhance the hindquarters that the lamb has. This takes place mainly before shows and sales, and it really is just for the presentation of the animal, to make it look better for the show and sale ring. We start off by taking the ends off the lamb with a set of shears. These are not just normal shears, these are the Gicotti scissors that we use, but any kind of sheep shear is the answer for this. But we start off with these and take the ends off the lamb to start with, the rough wool off the lamb, and then we brush the lamb out with a carbon comb and to take all the purl out of its wool, and then we finish with a final clip of the lamb again with the scissors, and we also clip its belly with the electric clippers. And in this breed, in the belt edges, I've seen it's taking a wee bit off its tail head to enhance the hindquarters that the lambs carry, and that is basically how we go about it. So before we start and put the lamb on the stand, I always take the rough ends off round its chokes, round its cheeks, to tidy up its neck. So I'll just start that way now. The tighter in here, the better you can get, and it enhances the lamb's head, so it does. Round the back of its neck before it goes on. There we are. One of these dressing stands is the best for dressing lambs. You also get the headstock that can bolt onto a hurdle or a gate, but I like this stand best because you can elevate it up to your own height, and it makes it easier than crawling about on your hands and knees. So we'll put the lamb up now, and then I will use the electric clippers first to bare its belly. And you've got to be very careful with these that you don't cut anything off that you're not supposed to. off. Now, in our particular breed, we're known to bear their tails, whether they be tips or yows. But also when you're in a carcass lamb dressing competition, their tails should also be bared, so that when a butcher is judging the lambs, he can see the thickness of their tails. So we'll bare its tail and take a wee bit in at its tail head here, just to emphasise its hindquarters. So that's more or less the rough bit done, and now we'll take the ends off the lamb with the scissors to start with, and then we'll brush it out before we do the final clip. Dad and I always dress together. We're a bit of a team when we do this, so we'll have our own system that Dad always does the tops. I do the bellies and the back sides and the four ends, and we kind of finish off with the sides together. So we're just taking the rough ends off here first, which makes it easier to brush out, and it will always make you get the wool tighter, which is what we're looking for a good finish. As you can see, that's taking the rough wool off the lamb, and the lamb's actually starting to shape up already, with it being a wee bit wider at its top. Just by taking it down a bit, it widens it out and over its loin, puts a wee bit more slope onto its hind end to enhance its hind quarters. In the final dress, we take it tight into the hocks, and that enhances the jigget. So really the idea of that rough clip, we're not looking for an absolute beautiful finish. It's just to take the excess wool off the sheep, which speeds the whole job up, to be honest, because you're not brushing out as much wool. As you can see by the bottom of the stand there, although we've only taken the ends off it, you can see the amount of wool that's lying there. And if that wool was still on the sheep, you would have double the brushing to do. So you don't need to spend a lot of time, it's just a rough clip to take that excess wool off, and then you get stuck in about it with a brush after that. So as you can see, this is the brushing process, and on the carbon brush it's a small tight wire, and you brush in and it catches the wool, and then it's just a slight pull out. The brushing part in dressing a sheep is one of the most important parts, so it is. If you get the wool well pulled out, you will always get a lovely finish. A doggy brush, and it's quite a good thing too, to maybe for one of the members in the team, just to go over the lamb on the other side, and it pulls the purl out a wee bit before the carbon comb goes onto it. Pretty good. So this is us moving on to the final clip now, which is just taking that ooze, more or less, that we've brushed out with the carbon brush. As you can see, it's quite oozy. So we're just taking that ooze off and making it nice and smooth and level. Now a wee trick that me and my dad use is these brushes. They're just basically the floor brush out of brushing pan that we bought, and they're very good for lifting that ooze up, and then after the wool's clipped, you just brush it away with it instead of having to brush it away with your hand all the time. So that's my dad just trying to level out its top now and make it look wider. I'll start round the front end, I think. As you can see now, when we're doing this, how little you really need to take off, and that's because we took the rough off at the start. It does save you a lot of time taking that rough wool off at the start in the long run. So you can see now on the underline where the belly would clip to the clippers, you're able to blend the wool from its side down into the belly, and it makes the lamb look ever so much tighter.
You always cut for the bolt knot.
Eh?
You always cut for the bolt knot. The sides.
Now starting at the back end, to enhance its jiggets, we'll always take them tight into the hock here, which makes this part look as if it's bulging out.
in this bear here.
Just before I finish here, I'll show you as I'm taking the last wee bit off here, in particular with these scissors, I'm not right flat on the sheep. I kind of hold it up a wee bit on one side. And the reason for that is, you've maybe seen the lamb starting to jump there a wee bit, and it's getting to that stage, it's probably thinking it's been on there long enough, and it's wanting off. So, but the reason for holding the shear up, one of the blades up a wee bit like that, is because if the lamb did take a sudden jump, I would go in and take a big lump of wool out. Now, you're always better to go back and take a little bit more, because you can never put it back on once you create a big hole. So that's a wee word of advice for you, just to be more so little and often rather than a great big hole, and then you can always go back over it. Just brush it up like that. You can see the wee rough bits coming up, and then just go back over and take the loose off, just to level it off. But as you can see by this, we're taking that amount of wool off at the start. We're taking very little off here. It's really just the ooze, but you can see what a smooth finish it's leaving on the sheep, and how tight the lamb looks now, and the nice lines that it's got down through its front, along its belly, the square top, and round through into its back end. That's really what we set to achieve when we started. So as you can see, that's the lamb more or less finished. Quite different looking from we started. Much easier in the eye. Looks far better than the skin. That's really why we do this. It's to improve and enhance the looks of the animal. To either the buyer in the ring when we're at sales, or to the judge in the show ring when we're at shows. It just enhances the look of the lamb, improves its good points, and in some cases can hide its bad points. In particular along its top, if it maybe had a wee dip in its back or something, you're able to level that out by the use of dressing the lamb and squaring its back, etc. So really that's basically it.